Hey there, everybody. Good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. It is the 14th. The 14th. That's Valentine's Day. And we finally got the sort of results for Hero Rises 2022 for Fire Emblem Heroes. Great. This is the event where we have a voting gauntlet with the top 8, and then whichever unit wins, the voting gauntlet is given out to every player, I think, over X many days. I can't remember how long a period it is. Maybe like 90 days. Maybe it's only 30 days. I don't remember. But point being, we don't have the full results yet. I've tried to find the results page. It's not live yet. But we did have this tweet. So they're announcing the top 20 spots. Heroes who come first through 8th will appear in a voting gauntlet. The hero who wins the voting gauntlet will be sent to all players as a free 5-star hero. The results will be announced on February 17th. So I'm assuming that means we're getting full results on the 17th. Great. What does that mean for us? That means we get to look at the top 20 poggers. So that's what we're going to do right now. So Corrin actually came up and took first place from Fallen Edelgard. Evidently Fallen Edelgard lost a little bit of traction. So there's that. Edelgard was in second. Legendary Sigurd was in third. Thor took fourth, and I think she was in 10th prior to this. So that's kind of cool. I'm pretty happy about that, actually. Eitri is here in 5th. We have Legendary Male Byleth, because we have to specify now, in 6th. And then we have Azura, the newest dancer, Cav, Hitari, harmonized chaos unit. That's going to be in 7th. And then New Year Dagger held on to 8th. I think she was in 8th before. And then Elamine dropped, so she basically fell so Thor could rise above. And then we had Claude, who I think was still in 9th. Yeah. I think it was Claude and then Thor in 10th. I think Elamine was in like 6th or 7th before. So basically, I rallied for Thor. Full disclosure, I gave pretty much all my votes at the end for Thor because I thought that she would be a good addition, but I did vote for a couple others before that happened, before the midway results came out. But Thor made it in, which is great. I have a plus 10 Thor. She's got Dive Bomb. She's incredible. A Gale Force Dive Bomb Thor is just absolutely absurd. So if she wins, or even if you get a chance to pull for her on the banner, if she makes top 4, I hope you enjoy, because that's who I would probably rally behind the most. But there's a lot of really, really good results in here. I think overall we're kind of living in a very good timeline, which is weird to say after 2 years of a pandemic, but I think we're living in a pretty decent timeline when it comes to a Hero Rises 2022. I'll specify, maybe that'll make it a little more palatable. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green units. So the odds of it being an all green banner seem pretty good. And if you're excited about that, then top of the hat to you, or tip of the hat to you, or top of the morning. I don't know what life is anymore. The only 2 non-green units we have are Edelgard and Sigurd. Everyone else is literally green. And maybe that's why people were rallying for Thor, because they knew if they bumped out Elamine, who I think was the furthest down in the top 8 list to potentially be bumped out of the top 8, who was not green, that maybe that would be helpful somehow. Summer Freya, Brave Erica, Lady Legendary Byleth, Duo Sothis. So, I mean, all of these units are good. I think they got the top 8 pretty right. Again, I make no qualms about saying that voting for normal pool stuff in an event that is meant to make very limited, never guaranteed characters accessible should be prioritized above all, because at the end of the day, they're all good units, right? They just serve different purposes. So I think getting anybody from here, the one thing that they have in character is Edelgard you've been able to spark for and you didn't have to have Fey Pass to do it. So she has had a guaranteed summon multiple times. In fact, she's on, I think you have to have Fey Pass for Remix right now, but she's on the banner right now that has increased odds, and you have a 1 in 2 chance of getting her because she color shares, I think, with air right now. So I mean, there's always lots of chances to get Brave and Fallen units throughout the year, especially if they're colorless, because that pool tends to be a little less represented when it comes to Focus 5 stars specifically. So if you really want Edelgard, I wouldn't put my money on the Voting Gauntlet. Voting Gauntlets can be a little bit chaotic. So if you really want Edelgard, you really need her, I would probably go for your chances on the current Remix banner as it sits. Okay, now granted, you will need Fey Pass to Spark, but you know, that's just my opinion. I'm just putting it out there. So these are the results from last year. We had Saros in first, Duo Ninja Lin in second, Dimitri third, Freya fourth, Corrin in fifth, Brave Edelgard in sixth. And that was Legendary Dimitri, by the way, just to point that out. And then we had Duo Summer Byleth in 7th and Duo Bride Micaiah in 8th. Now, the reason I bring that up is this was the Voting Gauntlet. This is the Voting Gauntlet we had. I assume that the placements are going to be the same again this year. So we've got first place, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place, sixth place, seventh place, 8th place. So first and 8th square off against each other, second and 7th, right? Third and 6th, and then 4th and 5th. That is what I assume would be what's happening with these results here. And if you're a visual person and you have no idea what the heck I just said, I made this super quick. Now I will caveat this with, they haven't done it, you know, high to low seedings before. There have been times when it was literally first versus second, third versus fourth, fourth versus fifth, sixth versus seventh, you know. So there were times when they didn't do top to bottom seeding. Here, I think this is probably what we're looking at. Okay, so you're gonna see first and 8th, and that would be Duo Corrin versus Duo Dagger. All right, you can't actually see it, but I'm scrolling. Second and 7th, you would end up seeing Fallen Edelgard against Hatari Azura, who is arguably the best dancer singer in the game at this point. 4th and 5th, you would have Thor up against Eitri, which is kind of poetic, I think, in a sense, because they were even on they had a debut banner together, so you know, why not? And then 3rd and 6th place on the right over here, you would have Sigurd and Male Byleth. So if you're wondering, is it possible to have an all green 4-person final, subject to, of course, if they do seeding the same way that they did last year? Yes, it is possible. It's very possible. The only thing that has to happen is that Byleth has to beat Sigurd and Azura has to beat Edelgard in the first rounds. That's literally it. That's all you gotta do. So it will be interesting to see what happens for sure. I think they're all good units. I would hope that maybe not Fallen Edelgard would get through to the top 4, just because it would keep the banner slightly more never guaranteed summon availability here, at least for non-Fey Pass players. So, you know, I at this point I have mixed feelings, because honestly Fey Pass is kind of a good value at this stage in the game, even though I disagree with some of the pieces that give it value, if that makes sense. I'm very torn. I have very mixed feelings about it most days. But this is kind of interesting. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly, because I really liked, I would have liked the idea of Corrin and Dagger both on the banner. Like, if I had it my way, I would have made a top 4 banner with probably from this top 8, Corrin, Dagger, Azura, and Thor, or Eitri. Honestly, I could throw in either one of them. They're both really good. They function differently. I get Thor. I guess I'll say Thor, because then it would literally just be an all green, all ranged banner if you had Eitri instead. Same with Violet. Thor is the only non-ranged green unit in this entire pool. In fact, every other unit that is green is ranged. Violet is ranged. Sigurd is not ranged. Edelgard is not ranged. Wow, okay. This really is the year of the ranged green unit, isn't it? Interesting. Isn't that curious? All right, so that's pretty much what we're looking at. Again, these aren't final. We'll have to wait for absolute confirmation, but if I were to take a good guess at what we're probably going to be seeing for the voting gauntlet, it's going to be this. Okay, Corrin v Dagger, Edelgard v Azura, Sigurd v Byleth, and Eitri and Thor duking it out all in the first round. And again, whoever makes it into the second round, that top 4, those are going to be in the actual banner that'll debut, I think, in March sometime. So, good luck, I guess. I'm not going to tell you which way to vote one way or another. I think you all know my takes on this pretty well at this point. But yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. Yeah, it's definitely better than last year, for sure. Last year's was a little more hit or miss, I think. But this is definitely something that at the end of the day, I think everybody's going to come out a winner from. So that's cool. And I have a couple units at +10 already. So this is not me just being biased and saying, oh, I really hope, XYZ wins. I think they're all really good units. I just think they have their different purposes, and they will be account boosting no matter what. So I think at the end of the day, we've kind of picked a solid top 8. I think if there was one I would have bumped, it probably would have been Elamine, and that happened. So we're kind of in like a perfect scenario. But those are just some thoughts I have initially on that. I hope you enjoy and look forward to the voting gauntlet, because those are always fun. And there is an additional in-game notice if you want to read up more on that right now. But that is it for me. I'm going to get this out to you and be on my way for the evening. Thank you again so much for watching. Subscribe, come back for more. And until then, I will catch you next time.